Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive, where we like to really dig into some interesting source material. And today we're diving into a blog post. It's all about a single plant, actually.
Huh, a single plant.
Yeah, a particularly vibrant Singapore daisy that just, well, it really caught the blogger's eye.
That's pretty cool. It's amazing what you can find when you really zoom in on just one thing.
Exactly. And this blog post is from qianwing.org, Musings of an Old Software Plumber. It's written by a guy named Ang. And this post is part of an ongoing series he does. It's called Notes on Gardening.
Notes on gardening. Okay.
This one is part 378. It's dated December 5th, 2024.
378. Wow. He's been at this for a while.
Yeah, right. This is not just some casual hobby. And the title of this post is really what hooked me. Notes on Gardening, part 378. The most vibrant Singapore daisy, Sphagneticola trilobata, I have seen.
So he's what, just out walking around and sees this daisy and it just blows him away?
Well, yeah, he was on one of his city walks.
Yeah.
And he came across this daisy that just really impressed him.
I'm curious what makes it so special. Is it the color, the size, or just like the overall health of the plant?
Well, he includes a photo in the post. It's a close-up of the daisy bathed in the midday sun. It does look really healthy, and the leaves have this almost oily green sheen to them.
Oily green, huh? That's an interesting way to describe it.
Yeah, he mentions it specifically.
I mean, it's interesting because you often see that kind of sheen when a plant is really well taken care of, well hydrated, good balance of nutrients. That kind of glossiness can actually help the plant thrive. It reflects sunlight.
So we're not just talking about a pretty flower, we're talking about a healthy plant.
Right. And, Singapore daisy is a pretty common ground cover. So for him to be this impressed, it must be pretty exceptional.
It makes you wonder what kind of environment it's growing in. He mentions these city walks.
Yeah.
So is it like a park, a community garden?
Yeah, what's the setting here?
He also mentions that this garden offers valuable lessons, but he doesn't really elaborate on what those lessons are.
That's interesting. It's like he's leaving it open to interpretation.
Right. It's like, what can we learn from this one daisy? It makes you think about his approach to gardening and even to life. He's a software engineer by trade, and there's this kind of analytical feel to the way he writes about this daisy.
I see that. It's like he's applying that problem-solving mindset to the natural world.
Yeah, and it's not just a one-time thing either. Remember, this is part 378 of his Notes on Gardening series.
Wow, so this is like a long-term project for him.
Definitely. He's committed to observing and documenting what he sees in nature.
That's pretty cool. And these city walks he mentions, it makes me think about how our surroundings can shape our perspectives.
Yeah, how we interact with nature, even in an urban environment.
Exactly. So we've got this software engineer who's also a dedicated gardener. He finds this amazing Singapore daisy while on one of his city walks. And he's hinting at some valuable lessons to be learned. Where do we even begin with all of this?
I think the first step is to try and understand what makes this particular daisy so special. What did Ang see that made him stop and take notice? So we know this daisy is special, but what is it about it that makes it so vibrant?
Right, it's more than just a pretty flower.
I keep thinking about that photo and how he described the leaves as oily green.
Yeah, that oily green is a really good clue.
What's so important about that?
Well, it tells us a lot about the plant's health.
Okay, so like how?
So when a plant is well hydrated, those cells are, plump and full, and that can give the leaves a smooth surface that reflects light and makes them look almost oily or glossy.
So it's not actually oily, it's just how the light hits it.
Exactly. And that reflection is a good thing. It means the plant is healthy and, doing its thing, photosynthesis and all that.
He also mentions that the foliage is reflecting sunlight. That makes me think about how important light is for plants.
Absolutely. The amount of light, the quality of light, even the direction of light, it all makes a difference.
So for this daisy to be thriving in the midday sun, that says something.
Yeah, it's definitely well adapted to its environment.
Maybe that's part of the valuable lessons he's talking about, understanding how light affects plants.
Could be. Gardeners often talk about microclimates, like how one part of a garden might get more sun than another, and how that affects what you can grow there.
It's kind of like how he was talking about those city walks, finding those little pockets of nature within the urban landscape.
Yeah, there are these hidden ecosystems everywhere if you know where to look.
It all comes back to observation, paying attention to the details.
Exactly. Which is something that, someone with a background in software engineering might be particularly good at.
Right, like breaking down a problem into smaller parts, analyzing the patterns.
And then using that information to create something new and interesting.
Which is basically what he's doing with his garden, right?
Yeah.
Experimenting, observing, learning.
and then sharing those observations with the world through his blog. It's pretty cool, actually.
So we've got the oily green leaves, the importance of light, and his analytical approach to gardening. But what about those valuable lessons? What are we supposed to be learning from all of this?
Well, I think the first lesson is simply to pay attention, to look closely at the world around us and notice the details.
Like you did with that daisy.
Right. Observe, analyze, and then try to understand the why behind what you're seeing.
It's not enough to just see something, you have to really think about it.
Exactly. And I think that's a valuable lesson no matter what you're interested in, whether it's gardening, software engineering, or anything else.
But there's got to be more to it than that, right? There's something about this daisy that really speaks to him.
Yeah, I think there's a deeper layer here. Something about the resilience of this plant, its ability to thrive in an urban environment.
Maybe it's a metaphor for something,
Hmm.
like finding beauty and strength in unexpected places.
Or maybe it's about the importance of adapting to change, of finding ways to flourish even in challenging circumstances.
That makes sense, especially coming from someone who's navigated both the tech world and the natural world.
He's bridging those two worlds in a way, showing how they can inform and inspire each other.
So maybe the valuable lessons are less about specific gardening techniques and more about a way of thinking, a way of approaching life.
Exactly. It's about curiosity, observation, and the willingness to learn from the world around us,
And to find those little pockets of beauty and inspiration wherever they may be.
even in the middle of a city, amidst the concrete and the noise.
So we've talked about the daisy, the light, the city walks, and Aang's unique perspective. It feels like we're getting closer to understanding what makes this story so compelling, but there's still something missing.
I agree. We've explored the individual pieces, but we haven't quite put them all together yet.
It's like we have all the ingredients, but we haven't figured out the recipe yet.
Exactly. And I think the missing ingredient might be Aang himself. We need to understand his motivations, his passions, his overall worldview.
To see the bigger picture, not just the individual details.
Right, to figure out what drives him to observe, to analyze, to create, and to share his insights with the world.
So how do we do that? How do we get inside his head?
Well, luckily, he's given us a window into his thoughts.
You mean his blog?
Exactly. We need to delve deeper into his writing, explore his other posts, and see what patterns emerge, what themes keep recurring, what values does he prioritize.
It's like we're on a treasure hunt, looking for clues that will help us unlock the full meaning of this story.
And I have a feeling that the deeper we dig, the more fascinating it will become.
So we've spent all this time on just one blog post about a Singapore daisy. It's amazing how far one little observation can take us.
Right. Like we've gone from this one plant to talking about, botany, urban environments, creativity. I mean, it's all connected.
And we've learned so much about Aang, the guy who wrote the post, his love for gardening, how he thinks, how he sees the world. It's pretty cool.
It really is. It's like we've gotten to know him a little bit just through his writing.
But we still haven't figured out those valuable lessons he mentioned. I'm starting to think he's not giving us all the answers.
Yeah, maybe it's more about the journey than the destination.
What do you mean?
Like, maybe he's not trying to tell us exactly what to think. Maybe he's just trying to get us to think differently.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, I think it starts with observation. Like,
Yeah.
Aang doesn't just glance at his garden, he really looks at it. He notices the little things.
Like that oily green on the daisy leaves.
Exactly. He's paying attention, and he's trying to figure out what it all means.
And then there's his analytical side. That software engineer brain of his.
Right. He's breaking things down, looking for patterns, connecting the dots.
And he finds beauty in the everyday. Not just in some perfect garden, but in the middle of the city.
He's finding inspiration all around him. And I think that's something we can all learn from.
So to find those valuable lessons, we need to be more like Aang. We need to be curious, observant, and willing to think outside the box.
And not be afraid to get our hands dirty, literally or figuratively.
And maybe the lessons will be different for everyone.
Exactly. It's about finding your own meaning, your own connection to the world.
So as we wrap up, I'm feeling kind of inspired. And a little bit challenged too.
Inspired to go out and explore, to see the world with new eyes.
And challenged to take what we've learned and apply it to our own lives.
To be more curious, more observant, more engaged.
To find those hidden gems of beauty and inspiration all around us.
Even in the most unexpected places.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, happy exploring.